What do trombones and police investigations have in common? Anyone? Anyone? No? Ah, they're both happy when the case is closed. So anyways, this is Trombone Champ, and you too can be a trombone tramp or champ. Wah 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 wah. You can toot your trombone, you trom and you bone. So you get to play a sloppy trombone to some famous tracks of yesteryear, and then some modern tracks by the developer as well. And this is a trombone-based rhythm game of sorts. So you can use a mouse or keyboard. I wasn't able really to use the keyboard, and I don't really see how that is functional. So I mostly use the mouse, but I found like with the mouse, like you were either grossly accurate or like suddenly you would swing from the different notes, and like obviously this also affects your output and the sound of the trombone, and it's like which I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like that or can you curb that. There's an auto app which actually allows you to play the track perfectly, but of course where's the fun in that, and you're not actually playing at that point. So anyways, part of the amusement of this game is the fact that, yeah, some of the tracks are ridiculously difficult and you're going to screw up, and when you screw up equals funny. So screwing up, funny, and that is this game pretty much. So it just depends on how quickly you need to raise or lower the note, whether you're holding it down, and there's a bit of strategy involved because it's very easy to play this game. It's not very easy to master this game because you only have so much air, so you have to determine, okay, when do I stop playing? How do I determine when to play? How much to play? And so that's where the strategy lies in this game. It's a very unconventional and weird game, and it embraced that weirdness completely, which makes the game what it is. Lots of inside hot dog jokes, baboon jokes. They're sprinkled generously throughout the game. There are over 50 tracks, 50 cards to collect. No DLC, promises no DLC ever. Appropriate for all ages. A rare game where that's the case. It's like one of those games like Mario Kart that anyone can play and anyone can have a good time playing it, whether you're familiar with the music or not. So the graphics are kind of like a mishmash of like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, like menus with goofy Wii-like humans playing music in front of silly and colorful and creative backgrounds. Some person said this is better than Wii Music. Yes, it's definitely better than Wii Music. You play the music and you attempt to follow it the best you can. It sounds easier really than it is by far. You follow the horizontal lines on the screen, and there's like dots where you're supposed to emphasize notes, and you raise or lower these sound notes that you're supposed to follow. So the game is hilarious. It's almost got like a Nintendo level polish here, which you don't usually see in beyond anyone other than Nintendo, obviously, or like Nintendo owned development companies. So for $17, it's $7 on sale. Unfortunately, I was gonna have this posted by the end or before the end of the winter sale, but now the winter sale's over, so sorry, my bad. It was $7 during the winter sale, and that makes this truly special and truly inexpensive too. So this is easily one of the best rhythm games of all time, and you wouldn't really suspect it being, because like, who thinks of trombones right away when they think of musical instruments? Maybe some people do, but I think of guitars, drums, bass. But yes, trombone, you can be a trombone champ, and even if you're horrible, this game is super amusing. Either watch other people. I couldn't imagine what it's like if you're drunk or your friends are drunk and you're all playing together, or someone thinks they're playing, and it feels like a funner version of Wii Music with a strong sense of silly humor. Plus, while the game actually introduces famous trombonists and musical figures, Well, so it sort of teaches a bit of musical history, and that's sort of a starter point for you to go and just explore music history, I guess. Um, the rare game that really gets better the worse you're at it. Like once you try and play well, that's when this game becomes less fun. But if you just goof around or you just yeah, if you can't play it, then it gets even funnier, and like you're just butchering the melodies essentially. So there's a great selection of songs, and you'll want to see how good or bad your friends are at playing these songs with you. And the cons, despite the initial crazy initial funness of the game, it may become monotonous with its own simple and repetitive gameplay. And I played it for I think 40 minutes or so, did a lot of tracks, maybe a third tops, and that's when I was like, okay, I've had enough, playing as one person for a session. So it started to get sort of old then because of the repetitive and simple gameplay. So it feels like a novelty game that, unless you're prepared to add your own custom music, which some people have done and made the game have even longer lifespan than it otherwise would have. I feel like the mouse controls can be really wild sometimes. Like sometimes it gradual and you can go from note to note, and other times like it just for some reason my scroll would be like whoop, and I'd be not be able to hit the notes or like. So I don't know. I don't know why it was like that, but yeah, the slide can be twitchy, and the keyboard just doesn't seem plausible. I can see how to do it, unless you're like really able to be nice on the keys. Anyways, this game is easily the most fun of the 3 games I've played this week. By far, not even close. It's in its own league. Even if the graphics are more comical than mesmerizing, it's and mesmerizing and authentic as Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which does a really good job at staying true to that game. The game manages to outfun almost anything I've played since Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. So that gives you an idea of like how, and this is probably why I think people were saying this should be the game of the year in 2022 when it came out. I don't remember which game came out as a game of the year, but I remember Turtles was definitely my pick at the time. Or there was Streets of Rage, I think the previous year, Streets of Rage 4. So I would say this is easily a solid 8.5 or higher. It's that much fun. I couldn't imagine playing this drunk or with friends. I could see it being totally ridiculous, and just the fun would be off the charts. So I'd say this is a breath of fresh air in the game industry that feels crowded with sequels or games, a new God of War, and whatever. With games that lack originality or fun, and forget about that. So keep on gaming and keep on tromboning everywhere, because anyone can trombone and like it. So do it. Alright, keep on tromboning. Bye.